Good morning, students. This is my lecture number 3 for poem number 5, A Roadside Stand, composed by Robert Frost for class 12th, subject English, and the poem is taken from your main course book, Flamingo. Children, in lecture number 1, I explained you first half of the poem with the introduction of the poet and the poem. And then the second half of the poem was explained in my lecture number 2. And today, in this lecture number 3 of the same poem, I will be giving you the complete summary of the poem so that you can recapitulate what was taught in lecture number 1 as well as in 2. And then we will proceed with the question answers given in your book Flamingo of this poem. So let's begin with the recapitulation of the poem. The poem, A Roadside Stand, composed by Robert Frost, is about a farmer who puts a little new shed in front of his house on the edge of a road. Several thousands of cars speed past it, and the farmer desires to sell wild berries, squash, and other products in his roadside stand. He does not like charity. He tries to sell his products for money because he wants to feel the city money in his hands, as he believes that money can give him a better lifestyle as he saw in the movies. However, his hopes are never fulfilled. People in cars go past without even giving a cursory look at his stall. And if few of them happen to look at it, they just see how the letters N and S had been turned wrong. They believe that such badly painted signs spoil the beauty of the countryside. Nevertheless, a few cars did stop there. One of them desired to take a U-turn. It came into the farmer's yard and spoiled the complete grass. Another car stopped to know the way, and one of them stopped as if it needed petrol, though it was quite evident that the farmer did not sell petrol. The poor village people had little earning. They have not seen much money. They lead a life of poverty. It's known that some good doers plan to remove their poverty. They aimed to buy their property on the roadside to build theaters and big stores. They planned to shift the villagers into the village huddled together. They wished to teach them the ways that could change their good and healthy habits. They even aimed to teach them to sleep during daytime. And those greedy good doers and beneficent beasts of prey desired to force the benefits on the poor village people and befool them. The poet feels quite miserable at the pitiable sufferings of the poor village folk. He even had a childish desire for all the poor to be done away with at one stroke to end their pain. But he knew that it was childish and vain. So the poet desires that someone relieves him of his pain by killing him. First, he wished that all these poor must be taken out of their pitiable conditions in one stroke, and if it is not possible, they must be killed together. But suddenly he came into his senses, and he thought as if it was his childish desire, and he thought to give himself relieved from this pain that he had been feeling for those poor farmers for years, as he knew there was nobody to help all these poor to come out of their pitiable conditions at one stroke. So the poet desired that someone must relieve him of his pain by killing him, and by not killing any one of those farmers. He wanted to make himself free so that he must not be alive to feel the pain of such poor people at all. So, children, this was the complete poem that I have summarized for your understanding. And now we will proceed towards the textual exercise of this poem. First of all, you see in your book it's given think it out. Question number 1. The city folk who drove through the countryside hardly paid any heed to the roadside stand or to the people who ran it. If at all they did, it was to complain. Which lines bring out this expression and what was their complaint about? So children, the answer to this question is quite simple. Now I tell you the lines which are bringing out these expressions given in the question. You see, there are lines like then out of sorts. The next line it is at having the landscape marred with artless paint. Then it is of signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong. These are the expressions that the poet has given which explain the complaint of the people who are driving from the countryside. And their complaint was that the artless and clumsy paint painted on the roadside stand spoiled the whole landscape. They were also irritated that even signs like N and S were turned wrong. So this was the complaint of the people who were driving fast into their cars and hardly paying any heed to the roadside stand or the people who were running that stand. Now let's move to question number 2, that is, what was the plea of the folk who had put up the roadside stand? In this question, the poet wants to ask us that what was the request that the people or the farmers sitting in the roadside stand had for the people coming from the countryside. So children, the answer to this question would be the farmers or the men who had put up the roadside stand pleaded pathetically for some customers to come as they wanted to earn money from them by selling their berries, squash, etc. And they desired that the city folk passing through the countryside would stop there to buy something from them. It was the intention with which the roadside stand was set up. Children, if you recall the poem, there I taught you the poet Robert Frost has written that it would not be genuine to say that they are asking for the dole of bread. They are not asking for any donations to be given to them for making their livelihood or for making their living standard better. But there they have put up this stand with the intention that they wanted to feel the city money by selling the wild berries or whatever the things which were possible for them to sell out in their roadside stand, because the people had high hopes from the people coming from the city that in exchange of those goods they would give them some money, and with the help of that city money they would be making their living standard better. So with this intention they had been sitting in their roadside stand, and this is the plea, the request they had been making pathetically. Now question number 3. The government and the other social agencies appear to help the poor rural people, but actually do them no good. Pick out the words in the phrases that the poet uses to show their double standards. Children, the answer to this question would be the government and the other parties in power were quite indifferent to the welfare of the poor rural people. Even other social service agencies did not do any good to them because they show them big dreams, and in fact they take their sound sleep that they had been enjoying for years even at night, because they give them big dreams and those dreams do not let these poor people to sleep at night, because they remain lost in those dreams shown by those beneficent beasts of prey or greedy good doers, those who come to befool these poor people out of their wits because they wanted to fulfill their personal mottos. And then I will tell you now the lines which are explaining or the words given in the poem which show their double standards. You would have noticed it is the line given in the poem, while greedy good doers beneficent beasts of prey swarm over their lives enforcing benefits out of their wits. All these are the lines which show the double standard of the people in power, those who are quite indifferent to the welfare of the poor rural people. They just come to show them the big dreams. They just tell them that they will be united and then they will be put outside the villages and their houses will be settled near the big stores or the theaters. These are mere the dreams which even do not let those poor people to enjoy their sleep at night. So these are the expressions that the poet presents in the poem to show the double standard of those social service agencies. What is the childish longing that the poet refers to, and why is it in vain? And the answer to this question is, the poet Robert Frost thinks that the people who are running the roadside stand suffer from a childish longing. Longing means desire. I taught you while explaining the poem as well. And they are always waiting for their prospective customers. They keep their windows open to attract them, but when no one turns up, they become sad. They are always waiting to hear the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car. This is what the childish longing, and the poet writes in his poem that the people spend their whole day in open prayer, and their prayer says that they want to listen the squeal of some car, the brake, and the sound of stopping car, so that the country folk or the city folk must stop there to ask what they were selling, and in exchange of their goods they would be paying them some money. Then the poet Robert Frost imagines that he could banish the woes of the simple poor farmers and other such deprived classes in one go. But this is only a dream, and it can never come to realization in real life. This is why it is a vain desire. So the answer is quite simple. The childish longing is of the roadside stand people, that they keep on waiting or they keep on spending their whole day in open prayer to listen the squeal of brake or the stopping sound of a car. And then the poet imagines that he could banish the woes of the simple poor farmers and other such deprived classes in one go. But this is only a dream, as he knows in this selfish world no one realizes the dreams of the poor, therefore he considers it vain desire. Children, now we are proceeding to the last question, that is question number 5, and the question is, which lines of the poem tell us about the insufferable pain that the poet feels at the thought of the plight of the rural people? Plight means condition. And the answer of this question would be, the poet Robert Frost feels that all the pains from which the poor rural people suffer must be removed at one stroke. This is what that the poet feels for the plight of the rural people, and with which lines he expresses this feeling. Now I tell you, the lines are, I can't help owning the great relief it would be. And the second line is, to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. These are the two lines which express the poet's feelings that he is in pain and he wants that the poor rural people must be removed from their sufferings in one stroke. Children, with question number 5, we complete the exercise of the poem given in your textbook. Now we are proceeding towards the homework. Children, you have to learn and write all the discussed question answers of this poem, A Roadside Stand, in your fair English notebook. I repeat, all of you are supposed to learn the question answers which I have discussed with you in this lecture, and after learning you are supposed to write all those questions with their answers in your fair English notebook. By the time Thank you. Have a nice day.